Hey everybody, this is graphic designer Roberto Blake, and today is another portfolio video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to design your print portfolio. So, to cover this video, we're going to actually take a look at my print portfolio, and I'm going to walk you through some of the things I did and some of the things that might be helpful to you when designing your print portfolio. Now, one of the things I covered in previous videos is the fact that I feel that Adobe InDesign is probably one of the best approaches you can use to designing your print portfolio. So, for a tutorial on how to actually use Adobe InDesign to do that, go ahead and click the annotation link. It's somewhere around here. I don't know where I'm actually going to put it. So, let's jump right in. One of the first things you should do is make sure that you get a portfolio book. These are usually going to run you about somewhere between $8 and $10. I use an 8.5 by 11 size portfolio book, and you can get these on Amazon.com. Link in the description below for the one that I bought. These are actually really cool, and one of the convenient things about them is they do have an inside flap here that you can use for business cards as well as your resume. Now, I don't have that stuff in here because with me doing all this stuff on screen, it'd be flying out and falling all over the place, and just for the sake of doing this video, I can't be super careful and cautious about that kind of stuff. So, one of the things I did with my portfolio book was I did a cover. And for that cover, I used my personal branding. There are fonts that I use when I'm doing anything with my name. In my case, it's Avant-Garde, G Bold. So that's what I do, and that's pretty consistent throughout. That's also on my business cards, my website, and a lot of other different things. So again, it's good to have consistency in your own personal branding scheme. And what I do is I show off some of the work that they will find in this portfolio and on my website, so that's consistent. This is also on my PDF portfolio. I used a horizontal format for all of my stuff. So what that means is that it all goes long ways, which means that whenever we turn a page in my particular portfolio, it's going to be consistent and you're going to always see it, presented in the same way. Someone reviewing your portfolio shouldn't have to turn and flip and rotate your book to be able to look at your work. So I think that it's important to be consistent. So if you're going to go horizontally, go horizontally. If you're going to go vertically, and just be consistent. One of the other things I like about the horizontal format is it's really good for presenting campaigns. So in this example, I did a campaign for a film that was done in New York, and this was a really cool project to work on. I got to do the DVD cover and label packaging. I got to do some of the social media stuff, and I got to do the whole print campaign, including the theatrical poster, the subway stuff, the bus sides, the billboards. I got to do all of that. So I presented that here and laid it out. And in the bottom, I used the text below to describe what I did, what programs and software I used, and what my role was on the project, which was everything from the art direction, the title treatment for the film, just all this different stuff. So it's important to make sure that in your portfolio, you're not just presenting the work, but you have at least some minor explanation as to what your role was, because they need to know if you did everything or if you were just a small part of the design. Now, in my portfolio, I took advantage of the fact that I've done a lot of different types of work. Here I did some banner ads, and what I did was I just made sure that whenever I do graphics for web, a lot of times I'll go ahead and I'll do a high-res version of them, knowing that I'm going to put them in a print portfolio at some point. So I had that for these banner ads for Big Ten Network that I did a few years back, and I made sure to include those in my portfolio. I have some other things like that as far as web graphics. If you're going to do stuff for the web and you're working in Photoshop or Illustrator, just make sure that you're making a high-res version of it so that you can use it in your print portfolio later, so that you can show off some of those digital skills even if you have to present in print. Ideally, you'll be able to present on something like a tablet, but you won't always have that opportunity. So just bear in mind that you need to be able to present all of your work that you can in print. I don't recommend doing your websites in your print portfolio, but if you did a mock-up of it in Photoshop, make sure that that's high-res enough that you can print it out. Now, we talked a little bit about having a variety of work. One of the things you want to do is you want to showcase some personal projects. For example, this is something I did that went slightly viral back during season 1 of the web series RWBY. I did a bunch of fan art typography and illustration-based posters, primarily using Adobe Illustrator with some effects tweaks in Photoshop afterward. So that shows some versatility, and the type of style that's used here might be interesting to somebody who's doing fashion, or editorial. So I made sure to include that in my portfolio because it was really cool work. It was something I really enjoyed doing and was passionate about. It did get some traction on the internet in terms of going semi-viral. There were a lot of likes and downloads and a lot of response in the Ruby fan community from it. So that was really cool. And you just never know what somebody that you's looking at your portfolio might be interested in. So it's good to have that variety and have projects that you're personally interested in. Also, you should go ahead and you should highlight work that really shows off, again, your personal style and what you're really capable of when you're not working with constraints. Another project that I included in this portfolio more toward the back that I decided to finish with was a photo manipulation I did on that's featured on Photoshop Creative Magazine's website that won an Editor's Choice Award. This is a photo manipulation that I did called Feel the Noise, and you might remember this from one of my speed art videos. I included this because personal work is something that people do want to see, especially if you're getting ready to go work for an agency, because they want to know what your style is, they want to know what you will do creatively, and this is going to be the best expression of that. They do want to see client work, they do want to see what you produce in terms of results when real deadlines and things like that are on the line, but they also want to see your creative process and see who you really are and what appeals to your personality and see if there's a way to incorporate that or really capitalize on it. So the other cool thing about a book like this is that because these are interchangeable sheets that you can pull and pull out whenever you need to, then you can swap out work that is more relevant to what you'll be doing. So a lot of the projects that I do are more print related. So I represent a huge body of print work and campaigns and things like that in this portfolio, because if I was going to a physical meeting or even sending something as a digital email, that's usually the type of work I'm doing. And I do a lot of work with marketing companies and agencies, so they want to do that. And the same thing with small businesses. So they're more interested in that. A lot of them already have logos developed. They're not interested in that service. They're not interested in providing that. So as much as typography is really important to art directors and creative directors, campaign work and print production work is very important to them too, and they value that a lot more. They value web work, but in my opinion, in addition to bringing your print portfolio, which we're discussing in this video, to a presentation or to an interview, I suggest bringing something like a tablet or a laptop so you can present digital work in the way that it's meant to be presented. Now, with that being said, this is some stuff I did for Digital Com, which is another YouTube channel that was started by my friend Ruben. And I did the logo design for him, but I also did an intro in terms of a motion graphics intro that takes advantage of a 3D version of the logo and some digital assets, as well as his overall YouTube channel branding and his thumbnails. And I even helped them with a bit of a hashtag strategy. So I talk about that in the portfolio in the text below, but I also included some frames from the motion graphic stuff. So when you can do that and when it's appropriate, go ahead and do present some of your digital work. Just think smartly about how you want to do it. So at the back of the book, I end with one of my favorite personal projects, Call of the Wild, and then I finish off with a campaign that I did for a client that includes logo design, trifold brochure, business cards, and a print flyer. And then lastly, I finish off with thanking them for viewing my work, a brief summary where I talk about myself and what I specialize in, my software skills and experience, and all of my contact information. My contact information is also on the front cover. So to summarize, when dealing with your print portfolio, you want to make sure that it's consistent with your overall brand, showcases your best work, showcases a variety of work that's relevant to the type of work you're trying to get, whether that be with a client or whether it's the type of work you intend to do for the agency or the type of work they have a demand for. You want to also try and make sure that you include your contact information. You want to make sure that the layout is consistent in your portfolio, that it only flips one way. You want to make sure that you have enough work to sell yourself. Now, in my portfolio, I have roughly 22 pages, and 20 pages of that is work. The other 2 are the cover and the back. You could definitely do more, you could definitely do less. I do it this way because of the volume of work that I've done. The type of work and type of clients that I've done, there's a lot more high profile work that I could have put in this portfolio, but honestly, I didn't feel like some of it, just because it was high profile, was the best representation of my work. So I put in some of the personal projects, I put in some of the smaller clients just because I thought it was superior work. always put your best work in there. Put in what is the best of the best of the best with honors every single time. That is a quote from Jared Polin, and he's absolutely right about that. But don't be concerned about putting quote unquote too much work. I know a lot of your professors are telling you put in, 10 or 12 pieces, and after that, that's enough. They're saying that because when they're looking at 20 and 30 and 50 portfolios to grade them, they don't want to have to look at all that work. And then it's assignments that they gave you and it's all similar, so they're getting bored and frustrated with that. They don't want to do that. When someone's trying to hire you, they want to make an informed buying decision. They're looking to hire you and they might be getting ready to pay out $25K to $50K to $75K a year for you to be working with them every day. They need to feel confident that you're going to produce results that are worth more than that. And whatever it takes to convince them and to show them that, that's what your focus should be. Not, is this too much? Is this too little? But does this get the job done? Does this sell me as the most qualified graphic designer for this job? That's all you should be thinking about with regard to your print portfolio, is how best to present your work so that you can communicate your value and your skill set to the people who matter. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the work that's in my portfolio. If you have any questions about portfolios, I do have other videos on the channel about them, and you can feel free to ask me whatever you'd like in the comment section below, so make sure you do that. Like this video if you like it, don't forget to subscribe, share it with friends, help them out, help them get some good advice on their portfolio. And as always, you guys, thanks for watching.